Hi there, my name is Chrissy Hodges. I am an advocate for OCD, particularly pure OCD. I'm a certified peer support specialist and the author of Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Thank you for being here. This is not the video I wanted to do next at all, but here we are. We are in the middle of what has been told to us to be a pandemic, which is the coronavirus. I've had several people reach out to me wanting to get my thoughts on it, and I really have been hesitant. I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. I don't know a lot about it, and I can explain why later. But what I thought I would do is just do a quick video to let you know that you're not alone and you're supported, and wherever you are and however you're feeling in this, that to try to normalize that for you. All I can do is tell you my experience of it and then what I'm doing in response to it now. Here's what's happened. You know, when you have OCD, let's say you get distracted with school or you get distracted in a relationship or at work, and all of a sudden, whatever you're worrying about, the thoughts kind of go to the back of your head. Well, this is what happened to me last week. I had my huge event in Denver, which was wildly successful. Thank goodness we did it last weekend, because if it was this weekend, we would probably have to cancel it. And leading up to the event, the weeks leading up to it, I just was not privy to what was going on. I was distracted. I didn't want to be on social media other than to post about the event. And I didn't read or hear anything that was going on other than what my husband Sean was telling me, or, just things you would see on social media randomly. And so part of me just thought, okay, well, this is just something that's going to blow over and it'll be fine. And I think that we definitely, had the sweet spot in when to have the event, which was wonderful, and people were able to come out, and it was wildly successful, and everybody came on their own volition, and it was great. And then as I started to unwind from the event, of course, what are you going to do? You start watching TV again, and you start scrolling the internet, and all of a sudden it was, like any of thoughts I had that were back here are now in the forefront. And starting to see what's really going on with it. And then the fear started creeping in for me. And a lot of that was really exacerbated by turning on the news and scrolling social media, and then seeing posts, and then clicking on the post, and then reading more, and then reading the comments, and then going and researching something that I'd read. And what I started to notice, and this happened just yesterday, so that it was like 3 or 4 days since the event. What I started to notice is I started to feel uncomfortable in my skin. I started to feel uncomfortable about what's going on, and starting to really buy into the uncertainty of it. And are we doing all the right things? And what if this had happened? And what if that has happened? And I need to read more, and I need to know this, and I started going down that spiral. And I started to really feel last night that urgency of the panic. So I'm not trying to downplay this at all. I know that this is a serious event going on worldwide. But in my experience, what I saw happening between last week and this week is I started to buy in to needing to know everything, because I didn't want to be in uncertainty. And the harsh reality and the bad news is that we don't have certainty about this. We're living in times right now that I have never experienced. I think we probably have experienced, however, we didn't have the internet that was splashing it all over for us and seeing the panic in our face all the time, and so that makes it scarier. But what I figured out yesterday is that I don't have to buy into the panic, meaning I cannot solve anything today, which is kind of the foundation of what we deal with OCD. We have intrusive thoughts. They feel so real. We start to mimic physical sensations and emotions around them, and we need to solve it. Well, this is something way out of our control, right? We're just monitoring this. We're seeing it. But there are things we can do. If you're struggling with what's going on with the coronavirus right now, what can you do to reduce that stress and still stay true to your values? Meaning, we don't want to affect other people or infect other people, or we don't want to expose ourselves to get infected, right? But I need to feed my family and myself, and I need to go down to Denver tomorrow and meet with my employees. and I needed to go to the DMV today. And by the way, coronavirus, it took me less than 12 minutes to renew my driver's license. So shit's real. You know, when it hits the DMV, you're like, yeah, shit's real. I actually timed it. I couldn't believe it. But either way, like, these are things I had to do. And there was a pull in my brain to go, don't do it, because remember that article that you read? But I just thought to myself, no, I need to lean into that uncertainty and get these things done. And I did. And as soon as I hang up here, I'm headed down. And hopefully I'll find some toilet paper, for God's sake. I even looked on Amazon today, and I don't understand. I don't understand the toilet paper thing. I would understand if diarrhea is involved. It's not, I don't get it. Anyway, I can't go out without toilet paper for reals. So I would encourage you, here's what I want to encourage you with. Y'all, the pandemonium that's happening around us, okay, that we're watching, that we're seeing, we are no stranger to this, okay? I realize if you have health anxiety, this could really, really be harming you and making things hard. But this also applies to you. We live with that kind of pandemonium and panic every day of our lives because we have OCD. And this is like normal, everyday, non-OCD people kind of getting a dose, maybe a small dose, of what we deal with. And I want to confirm and reaffirm to you that you have more resilience than you know, which is why when things like this happen, it's almost like, okay, yeah, there's this virus going on, but I'm really, I really hope I don't snap and kill Sean tonight. It's not funny, but you know what I mean? It's almost as if we live our whole lives in this state of mind. And so when something like this happens, I'm going to tell you, I can't speak for you, but from my own experience, I feel really disconnected, other than like what with social media and stuff. Part of me felt disconnected from not wanting or being more alarmed in the fact that, yeah, but I was worried I was a pedophile a few days ago, and that really alarmed me and consumed my whole day. That it doesn't make sense, but then again, OCD doesn't make sense. With that said, I want to remind you that this is something, that panic and need for certainty is something that we deal with all the time. So we're going to get through this. And all we can do is find what we're doing in response to it that is exacerbating intrusive thoughts, exacerbating anxiety, and start to reduce those. So for me, reducing social media tomorrow. X amount of time in the morning, X amount of time in the evening. I'm not going to click on articles. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of looking at comments. I'm not going to do it. News is on at whatever time we usually watch it in the evening, and I'm done. And then I'm going to stay true to my values. What do I need to do tomorrow to take care of myself and to take care of my family? I'm going to go exercise in a public park with trails. I'm going to meet with my employee. I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to go to the store and buy food. These are things I would normally do, and I'm going to take the precautions that are told to me by the World Health Organization and the CDC. And anything above that, I'm going to reduce the compulsions and live with the uncertainty and resist the urge. Brian Pyatt did a video earlier. I saw it and I watched some of it, and I'm going to echo after him. Lean into the uncertainty. None of us have certainty right now of what's going on. And so all we can do is just lean into that and be us and do us. Yeah, things are going to get canceled and we're going to feel really disappointed. But as seasoned individuals who get OCD, who live with this day in and day out of, the panic, and we're canceling all kinds of shit in our brains all the time. It's nothing new, right? We got this. And we're going to get through this, and reducing compulsions, leaning into the uncertainty of not knowing, but we've lived through it before, right? Every day. And in some ways, I feel like I've become a calming force for a lot of people that are spiraling out of control for the coronavirus. And interestingly enough, I've also found clients that I've met with this week are not necessarily as fazed by it, but more, you're just like, well, that's like normal worry. I'm worried I hear about violent and sexual stuff. Not funny, but you know what I mean? It's interesting how our brains work. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling, but I just wanted to let you know, kind of in solidarity, I'm with you. It's uncertain times and it's scary, and share with you what I'm doing in order to manage kind of that uncertainty, but also manage any anxiety that's coming along with that. And also to tell you that if you aren't panicking about it, don't let OCD grab onto that either and say, well, then you must not care. And what if you get it and you infect people or whatever, and people die because of you? And, my brain's already gone there too. We had our event last weekend, and, what if all these people came, and what if someone gets sick? And I just had to say, you know what, we put that event on living according to the values of myself and my organization. It was a wild success, and trying to move on from the what ifs and just doing life. So that's all I have to share with you today. And I just wanted you to know, wherever you are in this and however you're feeling, you're not alone. And it's okay to have a plethora of emotions around it, or it's okay to have no emotions around it. And, fingers crossed that it all clears up and everything is okay in the next few weeks. And if not, we'll readdress it again in 3 or 4 weeks. But we're all here together. And I want to remind you that you're resilient, you're strong, you live with uncertainty every single day, but you do have a choice. We can reduce the compulsions. We can live according to our values. We can do the things that we need to do to take care of ourselves and our family without causing more distress on ourselves by feeling like we should do more or giving into the urgency. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I will be back on in another few weeks to do a video on something a little more OCD related, but we will chat soon. Bye.